for the rest of my Chicago career, and you can like whatever. Yeah, I can tell you what you want me to. But I kind of like juggled both of like working in production on various TV shows and whatever they had there behind the camera.
What TV shows are you working on? There's not a lot of TV shows there at this time.
Well, this was like the height of the talk show.
Yeah, the Maury's or something?
Yeah, I worked on the Jenny Jones show.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember there was a murder?
I remember that name.
Well, there was a murder on that show.
Like a live murder?
Well, yeah, it never aired. That episode never aired, but
Well,
I
I
was
hope
there
not.
for the murder.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah.
What were you? You were a PA or something?
I was, at that time, I was an associate producer and a field producer.
Oh, that's a pretty big shot.
Huge.
And then
yeah.
somebody gets murdered in front of you.
Yeah.
With a gun? With a
Well,
choke?
What happened was there was, I think I'm done with my NDA. My NDA is probably expired. But so there was a same-sex, this is like, you could Google it. There was a same-sex secret crush show. And this is like 95 maybe. So like the idea of a same-sex is still kind of like new, whatever.
Yeah.
So there was a same-sex secret crush show. And the guy, the crushee, basically was like mortified, and he went back home to their trailer park in Michigan and murdered the guy who had the
not
crush
on the
him.
show, as
No.
a result of the show.
As a result
Oh,
of
I
the
thought
show.
you meant it happened at the on
Well,
studio.
not at this, but as a result of the show. So
That's
it
crazy.
actually like changed talk shows forever because
How so?
because they went to trial and everything because was the show at fault? And at that point, truthfully, there was no background check. We would pre-interview these people and everything, and we basically had to validate that their social security number matched up with who they really were, but that was the background check that we did. And so now, like, if you go on The Bachelor or whatever, there's a lot more background check. Not that they're not crazy still, but there is more, that really changed me, and I was like, what am I doing?
Right. I was just going to say, I feel like a lot of these shows are known for their trashiness.
Yeah.
What are you thinking when you're working on these? Do you feel that? Do you?
Oh yeah.
Are you blind to that?
did.
Or
are
are you just trying to pivot, or what is your thought?
All of the above and more. I mean, on one hand, like, I worked on that show for 2 years, and I learned so much about TV production and what goes into making a TV show. And yeah, it's different than working on like Mad Men or something.
Right.
But still,
it's people that went to school for this stuff.
Yeah, and you're doing everything. But I had to do at one time I was flown out to LA to convince these 2 teenage bisexual strippers to get back on the plane with me to come back to do the show. And I mean, you're doing crazy, insane stuff, and you're working from like 8 in the morning till like 5 the next morning sometimes.
Right.
I mean, just like insane.
Yeah.
And you don't have a minute to really think like, what am I doing? And then someone gets murdered.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
these are daily shows, right?
Yeah.
So it's a grind for
It's
sure.
a grind. We would shoot 2 shows a day, 3 days a week. So 6 shows a week.
That's brutal.
And it was
But
insane.
it sounds like you worked your way up. I assume you didn't start as a field producer where I'm
Right.
assuming you're like scouting talent and finding people and finding stories.
Yeah, well, the field producer, that was actually fun because that would be, we'd like take the teenage bisexual strippers and we'd go like around Chicago and have them say stuff like, when I see this pole, I just want to run up and down it or whatever. You'd like have them do like these
Sounds
little
super
like
fun.
field pieces. But it was kind of awesome. And then I'd put myself in the pieces and be like, what are you girls doing here? And like be a character or something.
Let me ask you something about these 2 bisexual transgender strippers. Do you prefer Twinkies or Ding Dongs?
Do I prefer?
Yeah.
Ding dongs. And
Okay, so
punch.
that means you like the one bite. No, I was trying to make some stupid joke. I just gave up on the bit midway through. That's funny. So when this murder happens, you're probably you're like rethinking about stuff, and you're like, I gotta reevaluate.
Totally. So right when the murder happened, we had to stay like under contract and stuff. But we were like, I talked to Diane Sawyer on the phone. Like,
what?
Oh, this was like huge news story.
Why? Oh, she was interviewing you.
She was trying to get to Jenny, and we were like, people would like, we had to be like smuggled out under the NBC tower. I mean, it was pretty insane. It was pretty insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I personally did not work on the episode that the murder happened, but those people had to go to trial and like a lot of
That's crazy.
bad. So anyways, that made me reevaluate, like, what am I doing? And I was making a lot of money. I was really young and making decent money.
I bet, yeah.
And then I left that and I don't know, did other production stuff in Chicago, but more focused on the improv and stuff.